Hello everyone, my name is Manoj Agarwal. I'm the group editor at Banking Frontiers magazine. Today we are having a panel discussion on an age-old topic that has become very relevant in today's time, and that is CRM. And the actual topic is CRM a vaccine against VUCA 21? VUCA 21 is the kind of VUCA situation that we are facing today in this year with the pandemic and the lockdown and the economic situation and those kind of things, those kind of challenges. I have with me six wonderful panelists, and I'd like them to introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll jump into the discussion. So Swaminathan, can we start with you?
Yeah, thank you very much. Very feel privileged to be a part of this meet. And really, as you said, that we have jewels of all the panelists here. And thank you once again for the opportunity. And I head digital banking for ISAF Small Finance Bank and also cater to the third-party products on the product line. And I've been a banker always and has experience of working in a cooperative bank and later on to a new gen private sector bank and old gen private sector bank after before coming to ISAF Small Finance Bank. And per se that we have seen the technology growth over years. And so we are overwhelmed to see that a lot of things is happening on the digital front, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Good afternoon to all. I am Deepak Lingwal. I'm heading Ops, IT and Customer Service of the State Bank of India General Insurance as Chief Operating Officer. By profession, I'm a banker, but for last 1 year, I'm serving as SBI General Insurance. So, Manoj, I congratulate you for choosing a very good topic, which is very close to my heart, that is CRM. Thanks for inviting me, Manoj.
First of all, thank you very much, Manoj, for inviting me. It's an opportunity and an honor to be on this panel and learn from the interactions with all these panel members as well. I have been with Kotak Bank for about 5 years, but with the group for about 15 years. And in my current role, I am the head of customer experience at the bank. Digital is something which is very close to our hearts, and CRM and what opportunity kind of provides to all of us is something which is going to be a discussion that we'll do. And I'm really looking forward to this engaging conversation with all of you.
Hi, good afternoon, Manoj. Good afternoon to all the distinguished panelists here. Thanks for having me here. So I'm S. Mahesh. I take care of operations and administration for Future Generali. I have always been a financial services professional for 28 years. Worked with Tata AIA for 14 years and with Future Generali. I complete 7 years incidentally today. And so it's been a lovely journey in the financial services space. And I think I've been witness to the entire cycle of transformation that has happened over these years, and more so now with the digital transformation that has completely into a different league altogether. And I think very glad to be part of this wave at this point of time, and looking forward to this discussion today and hearing from other panelists as well.
Good afternoon, Manoj. Good afternoon to all the panelists. I now represent Equitas Finance Bank. I take care of branch banking, liability products, digital wealth and marketing, to name few portfolios. I think as others were saying that of all the times, this is one of the best times to actually interact and interface on this right subject, where we are heading and what we are doing, because there's a lot of mass personalization to client personalization as an activity that's happening at a CRM level. I'm sure this debate will give us an opportunity for us to interact, interface, and put the right perspective. Thanks, Manoj, once again.
Yes, pleasure. Yes, I also really think something substantial should come out of this. May I invite Omar to give his introduction?
Sure. Thank you, Manoj. My name is Mohammed Omar. I'm representing Sperian Technology. I'm the practice manager and a global SME for the banking and the financial institute, BFSIs. And we've been there from last 17 to 18 years, improving the customer satisfaction, the CRM behaviors, and definitely in the end, giving a best worldwide solution to all our BFSI's customers. And looking forward to adding good value to this panel today.
So welcome everyone. Let's jump right into the discussion. To give you one sentence background, we did a panel discussion on CRM about a couple of months ago, There our topic was n equals 1. Okay. So now I want to take the other angle, which is n equals the entire customer base of the company. So when you look at it from that perspective, I'm sure you've been using CRM to move closer to n equals 1 as the technology gets better and better, as the data gets better and better. But if you start looking at it from the point of 360-degree view of the entire customer base, what kind of picture do you get? And is that kind of picture helpful for you in this VUCA 21 scenario? I'd like any one of you to start. Who would like to start?
Well, Manoj, I think let me start by saying that when this concept VUCA was designed, nobody thought of that it will be used in the context of a pandemic. I mean, it was just meant to be something, called post-World War scenario and all. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, we are discussing it at a time when whole world is facing a lot of challenges because of this pandemic. So when we talk about the CRM, it is rightly, it's a vaccine these days, because, if you see the overall scenario, you'll find that people are going to develop an ecosystem wherein they are trying to connect all the services that could be possible to serve the customer in a better way. So when we talk about the CRM, you take the example of LinkedIn, which is a new Facebook nowadays. So Microsoft is connecting their LinkedIn with Office 365. The idea is to create their own CRM. Go to the Facebook part, Facebook, Instagram, and now WhatsApp. They are also creating their own CRM platform. So when we talk about the relationship in general insurance, in SBI General Insurance, we are always on the forefront. Now, this pandemic all of a sudden has changed the scenario. And the CRM, when we started talking about the CRM, so the kind of input we are getting from the CRM, the kind of taste, the kind of, demographic structure among the client base of SBI General, we always find it useful to connect with the people virtually by using the data that is available or made available through CRM. There are certain good software which you provide every kind of analysis, be it based on the profession, be it based on the age factor. So we have used the CRM, and now we are in a process. I'll give you one example. In SBI General, we launched, selling of health insurance on WhatsApp. Okay. So that was the database we have used for this. Likewise, now we are working on an email bot and chat bot and voice bot connected with our CRM, wherein the data will be fetched and it will be sent using email bot. So that's the way forward. When you have got challenges of social distancing or physical distancing, I think CRM is the one tool which can provide you enough opportunity to serve the customer in totality.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Deepak. Kamlesh, would you like to give the banking perspective, whether for your bank or for the industry in general?
Yeah, so let me start by saying, Manoj, Deepak is right that VUCA in context of COVID, we didn't really anticipate. But if you were to really take a step back and say what this pandemic has done is that it's created so much of uncertainty and so much of fear in the minds of people that there has been a significant prioritization in terms of safety and security. People are really worried about wanting to go out. And in the initial days, that was a significantly larger concern because of significant uncertainty. Today, that uncertainty has gone for a longer phase, and we have a different kind of challenges in front of us. At the banking industry, what we felt immediately is that while the lockdown has happened and there is uncertainty of things, how do you continue with banking? How do you continue to transact? How does a customer really get served? Because we were at the forefront, we were a part of the essential services thing. Now, where CRM comes in handy is that at a quick glance, we were able to identify customer cohorts which were largely conversant and comfortable only using the physical properties. Now, at Kotak Bank, we are significantly investing in the digital property. So we had a lot of people who could go to the alternate channels and get served. But those who are in the branches, what do you do about them? Now, this effectively helped us to slice our set of customers who are predominantly bank branch users, to reach out to them, a communication talking about how will we be able to help them and serve them through alternate channels. Communications to talk about, making it easy for them to get there. To go forward further, Manoj, is to also go and say that, look, there are communities which are still not really transacting, and there's a need for physical cash. If we need to do ATM on wheels, which are the geographies which would be more apt to use this? Now, these are some of the decisions which, in my opinion, our understanding is that CRM ability to look at the entire cohort, like you said, not just n is equal to 1, but the entire piece if you look at, and look at buckets and say that, look, this cohort seems to behave in a particular manner, and therefore, how do I communicate with them? How do I engage them? Are some of those areas that we at the bank have worked on, and I believe personally would be one of those use cases. Identify by cohorts, look at communications, people who are in the senior categories, let's say, for example, and they are first time to digital. And we know that there are customers who are first time to digital. Along with COVID, has been a significant upsurge in the cyber frauds. Phishing, vishing continues to happen. So who are those set of customers or cohort of customers who are more prone to be hit by these kind of attacks? How do we proactively communicate and engage with them? Are some of those, communication themes that we work with on this using CRM?
Great. Can I invest in my other banker participants, Murli and Swaminathan, to give examples of big customer segments that your CRM has helped you address in some way or the other during this lockdown? Murli?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. See, Kamlesh touched and Deepak touched the criticality. There is no doubt mass personalization, segmentation, and importantly, personification to create an individual stuff was absolute need. But what does the customer expect out of an organization in these times? An intelligent and an insightful solutions which can be provided by the bank. So, for example, last time when the corona hit, and like most of the banks where budgets went for a toss, we created we were nimble-footed, luckily, and we were planning, anyway, digital forefront. So we created a liability product, and immediately leveraging on the liability product, we created a combined partnership with Reliance, an exclusive Corona product, which means Corona Secure. It's a protection and insurance product. We could cater to, we identified close to 2-3 lakh of customers who have consumed HI and GI through us. And we started doing a campaigning. And I think last year we were one of the largest distributor of the product for that particular insurance company. This has thoroughly happened because we leveraged on CRM. We leveraged on relationship management through virtual mode. And most importantly, as you get deeper and deeper, as I said, intellectual, insightful, it should have a convenience. We created a digitized solution end-to-end, which means without any interface, they will be in a position to execute it. That is one side of protection plan. And similarly, when the branches and the lockdown happened last year and this year, which we are going through, we are not faced any hindrances at all for a simple reason. We have already created our own marketing campaigns behind these customers based on propensity A, and B, convenience centric, C, protection. So we have bucketed things, segmented things, and we have started running our own acquisition engine, and highest ever acquisition for the bank, close to 2 lakh new customers acquired last month. So this is again a byproduct of CRM, where we understood the opportunity of reference, family penetration, and wallet sizing. So CRM went a long way for us in terms of A, wallet sizing a customer, propensity identification and deepening, and leveraging on digital solutions, taking it to the last mile. And I think all put together, we had a phenomenal growth in last year for liabilities. And the way we have started and leveraging on it, what we call it as a mapped book, in the sense that where it is mapped to a relationship manager, is showing a growth of almost 100%. So that's the power of CRM. Thank you.
Swaminathan, 1 or 2 examples from your side?
More than examples, I would really touch upon one point. In the VUCA world, anything has to self-adjust, or we should forcefully adjust it to suit the present circumstances and scenarios. And if the solution, whatever CRM that the bank is having, should be able to adjust to the changing scenarios also. Probably the parameters you have taken, the data sets you have taken, creating various personas and things like that. See, business is actually handling a customer. It starts with the customer, ends with the customer. And there is an exchange of value that happens. And if CRM has to really take care of these aspects of the customer journey. So if you're able to track the customer journey from end to end, even in a changing environment, we achieve results. This is equal for any industry per se, and especially in the banking sector, this is more prevalent. And what has happened really is that digital transactions sizably improved, visits to the branches, and there were a distant, the customers became distant, but technology united, and things all happened. So my point here is, for everybody, the CRM has really helped to keep the customer very near, create personas, and still adjust, be flexible enough to give the value to the customer.
Right, fantastic.
That's what I see as a very good thing which has happened in the VUCA world.
So CRM and technology are the glue between the bank and the customer, in a sense.
Absolutely.
Mahesh, if I may ask you, if I may just rephrase what I'm saying, we all know about the microscopic benefits of CRM, but if you can give the telescopic benefits of CRM.
10 years before, I don't even know what we would have been talking about today. So I think I give a lot of credit to the entire ecosystem that has developed over the last few years, So I think that's what I think most of the financial services players have been able to ride on. And today, if we are able to talk about how we have been able to find different customer cohorts and how we have been able to service them digitally or treat customer as a n is to 1 or n equal to 1 principle has been applied, that has happened because of the entire development of the ecosystem. I just giving one simple example, payments, for instance. The payment process has undergone a complete transformation in the country over the last few years. So if I were to think about insurance customers having to pay their insurance premiums to keep their policies alive in a pandemic environment, say 10 years back, I think customers would have struggled big time. But today, customers are, because the insurance companies or financial services providers have lived up to kind of gearing up their systems and capabilities to reach the customers in the digital environment, I think collecting payments from the customer, as one simple example, has been extremely easy. Most of the insurance companies have seen a resounding growth in their renewal premium collections despite the most challenging environment. And that has happened due to two things. One, because the entire ecosystem has digitally transformed. Thereby, even a situation like a pandemic has not impacted that aspect in a big way. And secondly, I think customers' understanding. So I think the services, the product, and the digital ecosystem, evolution of the digital ecosystem has really helped, I think, insurance companies, banks, financial services providers to really customize their offering to the customer segments that we are talking about. And I think that has been a big boon.
Perfect. The ecosystem has truly evolved and rapidly to counter the VUCA situation. Omar, what do you see as in your interactions with your clients? Are they using CRM in some different ways to cope, to counter the VUCA situation?
Yeah.
Apart from what our panelists have said.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting seeing all the panelists talking all their issues and how during the VUCA, the CRM has come up to this whole thing. But in the customers that we've been serving, we're helping them through the pandemic, there were two aspects of this entire VUCA and the pandemic situation. One was how to serve the existing customers and their side of journey. And the other was the journey of the internal bank employees, right? Immediately they have to evacuate their banks, their location, move that at home, right? Remote enablement of their entire systems, enabling them to 100% work from home without affecting the customers, right? So in the end, the entire journey had to be complete. And the customers that we've been serving, huge customers, with the CRM, it enabled them completely to cover up this entire VUCA situation in a very, very effective manner. But in some cases, they have increased the sales, right? The customers sitting at home were far free to take more products on the social media, on the WhatsApp. But to do that, the bank would have been very well equipped, right? Their employees have the complete 360, the predictive analysis, the full picture of the customer sitting at home, enabling them through their iPads, through their laptops, and talking to those customers, right? And in some of the cases, like huge department like New York State Department and all those departments, which had to close down immediately overnight, right? And next morning, their entire call center had to be double, not double, 3 times or 4 times multiplied because the input has increased. So that is the where the CRM has really helped them, enable them to serve their customers, and also with the serving, enabling them to upsell and sell more to those customers.
Interesting. I think you've beautifully brought the angle that employee is a critical part of the customer service. And if CRM can help that in a VUCA scenario, and like you give the example of tripling of the number of customers, the employees in the call center, that I think that really shows the power of CRM and its whatever system it connects with to make everything continue to be seamless and frictionless. That's really interesting. Let me dive deeper into one particular aspect. So we all know that during this pandemic, the number of customer interactions has increased. The number of transactions has increased, no doubt. But even the number of people calling up for moratorium or for applying for a loan or for rescheduling a loan or whatever it is, or for buying a policy or checking out a new policy, all kinds of customer interactions and calls have gone up. Typically, we think of CRM or any system serving a customer as human-to-human interaction. But I'm sure there's a lot of scope for automation. So within CRM or in associated systems, what kind of increasing automation do you see that will have an immediate impact and help you manage all this volatility? Anyone wants to take this up? Automation within to handle the load.
What happens is earlier CRM screens were facing the relationship manager more. But still, in these days, what happens is that they video connect with the client and able to service them in a more better way. So now what's happening is that there is a trend like coming. There are a lot of things happening in this market. So sharing of screen of the specified person, an insurance agent per se, with his client is possible. And CRM is helping him as a tool to win the sale for him. So these things have resulted. And I feel that futuristic CRMs, whatever it is going to help the bank in any bank for that matter.
Okay. Any other example of interface or automation?
Manoj, Murali here.
Yeah, Murali.
See, one is interface. Another is, actually, what is the future need? See, interfacing, you can do the interfacing through bot calling or a scheduler-based approach, which we anyway do it for, as you rightly said, whether it's a repetitive, lower decision-making jobs where you need to receive money, you need to pay on time, those lower decision-making jobs. CRM can come handy because it's only a repetitive job, immaterial of a individual, it can still happen. So that's one side of the story. Right. Now, where the CRM has to evolve is B2B2C. See, banks primarily, today distribute third-party products, third-party solutions in multiple forums. Today, when you do a mass personalization from a banking perspective, then insurance company, let's take insurance as an example. They do a personification from insurance perspective. Then together, we need to arrive at a tool where we both think alike. Otherwise, for the same Manoj, I will be thinking and putting an algorithm in a totally tangential way than to an Manoj from other perspective. So now we have already started the discussion with a couple of people. So how do we arrive at a common platform so that Manoj at any given point of time feels the same quality and the same consistency in terms of approach, service, and the delivery? So this B2B2C future, as we evolve at the nearest phase, we need to evolve at a common platform where me and my partner needs to think alike, do alike, and joint alike, collaborate and coexist together to grow the customer so that customer feels the real value of CRM than independently running a CRM on, multiple people running on the same people. So this is going to be the next evolution of collaboration and co-creation. I think that's one future.
Very interesting, Murali. Any other example, anyone?
Yeah, can I just come in here, Manoj?
Yeah, Kamlesh.
Just want to say that, what we have seen with this pandemic is that forced to a corner, all of us have learned to adapt and adjust. And on the company side, the company has possibly started looking at digitizing processes which they possibly earlier thought may not be so easy to do. We figured out ways to use technologies and leverage. On the customer side, the customer started accepting and adopting at a much faster pace. So what we are all seeing is that where there was possibly a discomfort, the customers are now willing to kind of try and use digital platforms. Additionally, we are already seeing what I would like to call as a blurring lines. People are no longer comparing bank to bank. They are comparing bank to an Amazon, a bank to anybody else. And the question therefore comes is that if I can get it here, why can't I get in the banking category? One of the challenges of legacy firms or legacy businesses like us is also that, and I'm talking about the category, not just about an individual firm, but is that organizations were built in silos. So you created a sales vertical which was focusing on sales. You had a support which was talking about service and somebody else. You had a compliance which had their own structure and their own systems. The challenge and therefore the question about what you said about what do we need to automate is information about the customer resides in the organization, but it is in a very siloed manner. How do you bring that all together in a real-time manner to be able to serve the customer quickly? To give an example, today, if I come to you at a branch, I possibly will toggle between 5 switches. Picking up Swaminathan's example that, the screens were customer-facing or employee-facing. So the employee could toggle between 5 screens and possibly compute or calculate or surmise what it meant and tell you on the other side. Now, if I have to really replicate the same experience, do the same thing for the customer on the online platform, how do I do that? Surely the customer can't go through 5 different screens. The customer wants to go to one screen and say, hey, here's my problem. You give me the answer. That's the changing expectation that he has, and he's seeing that other categories are able to do so. So how do you really bring that together and give him a meaningful solution to his problem? Customers today are expecting that, in the age of digital, in the age of technology, if I ask you something, don't tell me where to go. Tell me it is done. Okay. I want the answer right now and here. The question, therefore, is that leveraging all these data points through whatever means it may be for them, it's like a black box. Aapko jo karna hai karo. But mera question aap kaise answer karoge? And that's a kind of expectation that he has, which is measuring all of us for or against. So that's my view on that.
So in fact, historically, CRM was started primarily to overcome the silos that exist in a traditional organization. But then I think new silos have come in because of different data sources or different business segments or customer segments. So CRM, the task for CRM to lower the walls of the silos, that challenge continues. Interesting.
So, Manoj,
yes,
I'm picking up from where Murli and Kamlesh have left. That CRM, apart from the better knowledge of the customer retention, better segmenting, one part where you have asked for the automation, I think that is better anticipation of needs. And I'll give you one beautiful example. What has happened with SBI General Insurance? We are a subsidiary of SBI, and in SBI, we use YONO mobile platform. So there you will find a beautiful example of automation of CRM, wherein we are anticipating the needs. The moment you use this YONO platform, therein we come out with the lot of insurance journeys, wherein the data will fetch the desired result and it will ask you about your needs. So you can go for health insurance, you can go for personal accident, and the entire journey is automated.
Okay.
So this entire journey. So YONO is fetching the details, wherein SBI General is there to provide the services as one of the partners. And the whole journey is automated and so smooth. So smooth on mobile, you can just buy your product and finish the journey. So CRM is really, it's really a beautiful concept when it comes to facing the challenges posed by VUCA. Certainly. So this is the part which we have fully automated in SBI General Insurance.
So Umar, given the examples that all these gentlemen have given, can you share what is at the leading edge of automation within a CRM
So in this discussion, there was a discussion that the CRM was brought to bring all the data from multiple sources and create a 360, right? The crystal ball that we say, where
Right.
you sit in front of the crystal ball and gives the full detail of a customer, how to serve it, how to upsell it, and entire whole thing, right? But when this pandemic stuck and all this VUCA happened, right, the organizations which were already working, or the BFSI which were already working towards getting this crystal ball of customer 360 already developed, right, they had the next level to automate also multiple processes, right, and even automate the data that is coming from different sources, right? Now this time the data was of different challenge. The data was not just showing the customer fulfilling his request. The customer also was started coming from different channels, right? From the social media, from the WhatsApps, from all these different channels to fulfill their needs, right? So if they had the right customer 360 platform set up, then only they can take to the next steps. That is integrating with the WhatsApp, integrating with the social media, and then fulfilling whole needs.
So what I was saying was that I think while CRM traditionally always try to break the silos that exist in terms of data, but I think the new thing that I have observed is that customers want information at their fingertips. They want information to be available to them. They want the issues to be resolved even before they contact someone. They want to get into a system and get all the information that they want. So one thing that we are trying to kind of do is create a digital experience for the customer where the customer doesn't even need to come to the branch. So we are creating a digital branch where customer gets into an app or any other website and connects with the company in a manner where he gets all the information which is required by him, which would have been provided to him at a branch. So we are making the customer's requirement to come to a branch completely redundant. And that is a new capability that we are creating so that anything that the customer would have come to the branch for is taken care of by the customer at his fingertips. And that I think has been really appreciated by customers, especially customers who are senior citizens, who are finding it difficult to come to travel, who are finding it difficult to move out of their houses due to the COVID. How do those customers get taken care of? And I think that is something that we have been able to address by creating this digital branch principle where a customer can get all the information that he requires without even having to come to the branch and do all the transactions, which earlier would have never been, we could have never done without the customer having physically come to the branch. I think that is something that we have been able to address, and that's been a pretty big revelation as far as we have seen in our business. And we have been broken a lot of silos and mindsets that we thought we'll never be able to tackle these kind of problems. But I think those have been addressed during this pandemic, and that's an innovation that we have seen which has really paid off.
Yeah, so even the customer wants a 360-degree view of the organization. It's not just one way, it's other direction also.
Can I just add to what Mahesh was saying, Manoj, is that at the bank, at Kotak Bank as well, we saw that the need to be able to service the customer. So one is on terms of acquisition, and we all know that, video KYC was one of those brilliant opportunities and solutions, and we were the first ones to implement that, where acquisition became very easy because you could now, sitting at your home, do entire buying journey from your home itself. And that's a case of automation as well. The second was in terms of servicing journeys, that if I want to get anything serviced, and it's a self-help journey, we were very happy to see that, customers were willing. As we launched our self-help menu on our platform, some of them existed, but we did a relaunch of a new help center on our mobile and net banking. And very happy to see that, a significant surge, and there is 80% traffic moving on to mobile banking in terms of wanting to get serviced onto and try and do things on themselves. So which is where the opportunity lies, that people are willing. And if you are able to really bring a solution to them, give a quick answer to their needs, they possibly are getting serviced and happy to come back and use the same journey. Omar is right that, it's about multiple channels that we are seeing, social, WhatsApp, and we will talk about it possibly in some further conversations today as to how those are changing a few things for the customers as well. And the firm is learning how to kind of engage the customers through the channels that they are preferring to come through.
So, gentlemen, that's great. I think we have covered a lot of territory. I want to deep dive into one technical aspect, and then we'll come out of the technical aspect. The technical aspect is this, that over the last 1 or 2 or 3 years, each of your organizations, each BFSI organization has developed lots of small modules, either as a trial or as a requirement to service the customer or grow the business or whatever it is. So all organizations have lots and lots of modules and codes sitting here and there inside an app, inside some application, or as a fresh application. Now with let's say there are 5, 10 or 15, whatever number of such modules. Do you think some of them should be merged into the CRM where they can become more scalable, more controlled, there is more data privacy, data security issues, whatever is the big thing that a proven CRM system comes with as an enterprise system? You get the benefit of that. Or do you think it is better to be more agile and flexible and keep them outside the CRM and until the need arises? In general, in the VUCA scenario, what do you see better? Some kind of enterprise grade solution or some kind of lots of small flexible solutions?
See, we have been evolving in, not in a continuity mode, based on need mode as an industry. If you see, that is why this lot of small app and small solutions kept coming in. Now, post this COVID and Corona pandemic, the persona or the personality of the customers is going to change significantly. What I have used on a convenience mode, the expectation is only going to grade up. Yes. If it has to grade up, then I cannot run multiple small compartmentalized item, but one conduit shell where he cherry pick and choose. That's going to be a reality. So you are right. For example, in many banks, payments sits separate, transactions sits separate, schedule of charges sits separate, transaction monitoring. So now we need to put everything into a CRM so that if I sit with you, I should be in a position to say, this is your cost for the entire transaction you have happened. This is the payments you are supposed to give. This is a return you have made. This is your interest charges for the year. This one view 360-degree approach not only is needed only for sales or service, from the overall perspective will be a demand from the consumer side. I think organization will evolve towards. So it's an enterprise-based approach. The architect of the banks over a period of time will migrate towards that. These small things actually will create a hell of a lot of confusion also in coming day, because you can't have a 360-degree approach or a one view campaign.
Okay, that's very well put, Murali. Any other thoughts?
My view on this, Manoj, is that, see, it's a cycle. The digital ecosystem or the system architecture undergoes a change every once in few years. So you try to consolidate systems, bring everything in one place, but over a period of time, you'll suddenly realize that you created a few other systems while you try to consolidate everything. And I've seen it over and over again. So while you try to bring everything together, it does happen that you end up adding few applications because the transformation in the environment is happening so rapidly that your single system that you had created may not really cater to the requirements over the long run. So there is always going to be a need to keep revisiting your architecture and keep consolidating. So while it is very important to try to bring everything under one roof in one application so that it becomes a single interface for customer as well as the user to service customer, but I think it's important to keep revisiting your architecture because it's not going to remain that way for a very long run, because you are going to come up with a new technology capability and there will be a need to introduce a new application which only caters to that need. And at some point of time, then you'll again sit and say, okay, how do I consolidate this back to my main system? And so it is a cycle and we need to look at it like a cycle.
Manoj, if I put your question in another way, that whether you need one vaccine or many vaccines for VUCA, it is the question you are asking. So I would divide this pandemic into three parts. The first part, I would say that was the part when all the BFSI sector responded to the pandemic and they have changed their ways. All of a sudden, we have been asked to go on a remote working mode and started connecting with the customer through virtual mode. The second phase was to respond. The first phase was to respond, and the second one was the recover. So second phase also we have crossed. So during these first two phases, we have adopted various digital solutions that were available to us, where applications were accepted by us in the process. But now we are entering into the third phase. That is the phase where we need to thrive. We need to look for the opportunity wherein we can ensure the customer excellence along with the productivity and the profitability. Now the question is, what is the way forward? The way forward, whatever applications we have accumulated in first two phases, now this is the time that we should have a complete platform in the form of CRM, wherein all these solutions are merged together. So, VUCA 2.0, if you remember, Bill George has given the solution. The last A stands for adaptability. So here we are in that phase. So I think we need to have only one vaccine, and that is CRM, by taking all together the application that we have accumulated in first two phases of this pandemic.
Very interesting. Umar, if I may ask you, based on the responses that you've received, what kind of functionality do you see quickly moving into from an outside system into a CRM? And what should come late? Technically, what makes sense? What do you think?
So, Manoj, if we set one step back, okay, and where we talk about that CRM having the centralized, all the information of the customer, serving, sales, and all this, why it is more better than having 4 or 5 systems altogether to enable and use them, right? Or maybe in some case, the call centers and all this, when a normal situation was there, they had to use 40 systems. I've seen the banks, the backend system, there are 40 systems, 40 screens open, and he's going bizarre handling all those systems, right? But if you go with a single strategy, a single system, right? Like a single vaccine, you can manage the manpower, you can manage the compliance needs continuously coming from the state or the top state banks. You can minimize the risk because you have one system where you have to focus and minimize the risk, where the risk is not only the sales and the customer serving, but also the security threats and all the others, right? Because now the employees are using the system from the back end, from their homes, right? You've exposed your main backend systems to them, right? Remotely, which banks usually were not doing it. It was a single system. They were on-prem using it. These systems were not on internet and all this. So having a single layer far stronger helped them. But it's not only the serving that helped them. The other more benefit feature was the cost saving, because everyone, when this pandemic happened, they didn't know where the world is going, right? So everyone, like a normal human being, we all went toward the cost cutting mode, right? And in this situation, when we bring a centralized system, which is taking data from the backend and bringing it all together, you don't need 40 systems of licenses, right? You can reduce the front-end license and save a significant cost. So that is also a big impact that CRM brings in such situations, VUCA situations.
Very interesting, very interesting. Cost cutting and licensing, yes. And complexity and risk. Yeah, all these things go together, I guess. You move in one direction, you start getting all the multiple benefits.
Yeah.
So there is this saying, prevention is better than cure. There's something we learned, when we were kids. It's a piece of wisdom that has been accumulated. It's a distillation of a lot of experience and knowledge that millions of people in different generations have had. And that becomes that short 4 or 5 words. Prevention is better than cure. And so now we know that we are in this pandemic and VUCA situation. And definitely prevention is better than cure makes sense. So if you were to give your version of prevention is better than cure from a CRM perspective, or how prevention is better than cure, or some such wisdom, not just this one wisdom.
So let me...
Some piece of wisdom that you really value and you want to make this relevant in the CRM thinking.
Context, yeah.
What is it? Yeah, in the CRM context. What is it that you would tell your colleagues or you would spread the word around? Because wisdom is something you spread around. You just don't tell anyone, you let it flow everywhere. So Swaminathan, if you could begin and share, what kind of wisdom would you like to see in a CRM system?
I think Kamlesh has a point. Can you take that, leave the question to Kamlesh first? I think he has a point.
Okay. So,
okay, Kamlesh.
I think one of the very important things to me, very close to my heart, is how can I use this insights and insights about his behavior, his transactions that I've collected through so many different touch points and interactions over time to be able to add value by predicting, providing him some more valuable action. So what is the next best thing for you? Could I do that? That is something that we are working on, and some of us already do that. At Kotak Bank, we provide you a product or offering which is based on your persona, based on what your usage are, and we are able to say, based on a propensity model, this is something what you would want to buy. That is one part. The second is, could I use this model to also, and we do that in collections, right? So you have a model to predict that this is a likely to default, or a likely, in case of an insurance, likely to lapse. And therefore your interactions, your communications, your engagement, rules of engagement change to adapt, to address to that particular cohort or that particular customer based on the customer. You could extend this and say that, we possibly have not harnessed CRM so much in terms of the analytics to try and give something which is for that individual. So one, the personalization has been that the analytics usage has been more to a mass scale, but you could also bring it to an individual scale and say that to each individual, as you log in onto your property or net banking or mobile banking, could I see a different page altogether based on my usage? Allow me that flexibility and do so. Could you tell me to the servicing team that this customer who is engaging with you is likely to have some issues, or because there has been certain pattern? Could I kind of give him that insights to serve him? And therefore it's a nudge. It's basically, how can I use the analytics to nudge both the customer, nudge the employee to a behavior or an action which would add value to them?
Fantastic. Nudge theory got a Nobel Prize. So I'm sure it is something that is powerful that the financial sector should start using. Thank you, Kamlesh.
Very powerful words, Kamlesh. It's quite nice to hear you on this. In fact, this prevention is better than cure. That is a word of wisdom. And apart from that, see, human mind is always inquisitive to know what is going to happen. And for two reasons. One, if it is going to happen, how much I can get or how much I can reap the benefit. If something negative happens, then to what extent I have to protect myself, stop loss. So these two things are possible if you have an effective CRM tool. I feel that any CRM tool must do this activity very effectively. And nowadays, we were also discussing on centralization, decentralization, or whatever you call it. So, and the world is also a cycle, this happens. Okay, so nationalization, privatization, now we talk about. Even in recent vaccination, we wanted to decentralize, now it's getting centralized. Like that, the changes are there. But one point which Omar said was also very correct, like centralized systems and multiple systems speaking on real-time basis to the central system, and then giving the benefit is very good. That would be the way forward. That is how BFSI has to really look at this point. And to close my talk on this, I would say that the prediction part of it in a CRM is the must, and that really helps a better CRM too. Prevention is better than you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for those examples also. Who wants to share some wisdom perspective now?
I think, Manoj, I'll kind of add on to what Kamlesh said. And I think analytics, definitely, I think there's no way to turn your back against that. I think analytics is extremely critical. And I think CRM, along with very rich analytics, will help you to reap more benefits from the customer. But I think one prelude to analytics is your ability to engage the entire system to enrich customer data and customer interactions. And I think the CRM has to really be used to do that. I think the customers, when they are onboarded by a company, a bank or an insurance company, they are at a particular stage of life, but the customer's life stage changes over years. Customers marry, customers have children, customers' needs change, and things evolve for the customers over a period of time. And I don't think anyone is really thinking about how to go along the customer's life stage and see where the customer has reached in his life stage from the time he engaged with you or was onboarded. And I think that is where CRM really has to play a big role. And I think that is where the managers have to really play a big role in defining how CRM should be utilized, how people should really engage with customers and enrich customer data. There's a lot of data that is available through various other databases, but how do you synthesize that data? How do you learn from the interactions that you have with customers, have that rich data built with you, and then use it for analytics? I think that's very critical. So building the customer data is extremely critical.
That's a very good point. Aligning with the customer's life from childhood to adulthood till old age.
Yeah. So I think when you talk about the prevention, I think we should not forget the word relationship. Automation and digitization are just part of it. We should not hesitate to go a step further to ensure the kind of relationship we as in BFSI sector should have with the customer. I'll tell you one example from my own company. During this pandemic time, we launched Healthline. Healthline is a helpline which was given to health policyholders. I think you might have heard that the claims that are increasing on account of health claims, we have already surpassed what we have paid last year in terms of health insurance claim. So that is the scenario as of now, which is really horrifying. So just to give that comfort, I mean, it is very good to have a robust CRM system, most efficient system to back you up. But the idea is to connect with the customer the way he desires. Empathy is another word. So we launched Healthline in our company, and it has yielded very good results.
Great. So who's next?
Yeah.
Murli.
See, I think a few good points are covered by Swami, Kamlesh, Deepak, and Mahesh. See, CRM is also one of the tools. Like how digital is also one of the medium or one of the channel for us to distribute products. So CRM, is it an essential tool? Yes. The expectation out of organization is ABC. For example, it should optimize cost. It should ensure quality. It should, mass personification is done. From consumer side, he needs to expect an insightful, non-compromisable, information security protected, privacy protected. So these are critical pillars in which we are building the CRM as a tool. But taking your step forward, like Deepak rightly said, as we grow detail, there will be two sets of customer. One who will do it yourself, who is very happy with getting generalized and who is ready to take the tip and ready to make a mark to himself by doing it himself. For him, CRM should also extrapolate to the next leg of that customer also be part of CRM. Today, we are dividing the employer and the customer through a tool. Let consumer also walk through the tunnel half the distance, and so that he becomes. So this is one set of customer where you need to open the pipe and ensure consumer walks in, he understands with CRM what is happening, takes the tip and does it. It's like any stockbroking firm. Second set is like Deepak said, if we have to build credibility and trust, it is not going to be based on only mass personification or only templating him into a adventure person, sporty person categorization. It doesn't work that way. One needs to have that sixth sense. One needs to go through the path of extending relationship, growing relationships, because the industry most of us are in, it's in for generations. I have seen multiple other banks where people work for a generation and customers associate with them for generations, immaterial. So there, the customer relationship without CRM, the relationship management has been the topmost priority. So for every organization, for preventive action, relationship management and customer management has to be key. And you have to plug it through whatever digital products you need to produce, digital process and CRM tool you need to bring in, backed by AI. And these are all tools.
Fantastic. I think all of you have given such fantastic perspectives on what CRM can accomplish more. So let's hear from Omar. What does you see as the wise wisdom that we're going to get incorporated into CRM along with what these gentlemen have said?
Thank you, Manoj. I think they have summed up this very perfectly. Okay, but I'll just add this a few lines onto it, that customer satisfaction, which we used to call it, we are giving a satisfaction to customer, has totally evolved to the experience that we are giving to the customer, right? Like rightly said by all gentlemen, what is the experience this bank is giving to him? These days, there are multiple banks offering multiple kind of product, custom products, and all this kind of stuff. So definitely they'll find the product, the sales which they are looking for, right? But how our bank has handled that customer, what kind of satisfaction, the experience, the single entire experience we have given, that is a very important, especially in this pandemic where people are more looking into the digital systems, right? And from the banking side also, the AI has become the backbone of the banks, especially when we see, when we have to continuously monitor our profits and loss. We have to monitor which customer are being delinquent in next 3 to 6 months. A very close eye needs to be put down, right? And with the less human power and the people not at the work from home, how to monitor that, right? So enabling the AI and the machine learning and all those aspects onto the CRM, which is predictively guiding them for the future. That's a very, very important thing that is added on top of the flavor onto the CRM. And looking forward that we as a together, as a companies, as a BFSI, will fight out this entire VUCA situation. And definitely by learning of this, we will increase the business in future.
That's great. Wonderful. Thank you, Omar. So last, I will ask each of you to give one number. So with all these vaccines, you can see there's some efficiency rating given, 85%, 95%, 92%, 62%. So what would you gentlemen rate CRM as a vaccine for VUCA 21? What kind of efficiency rating would you give to CRM in general to counter VUCA? 62, 82, 79, 99? What is it that you would say?
I would say 90.
90. Okay, thank you.
So Manoj, very interesting question. Though I have taken Covishield, which has got efficacy less than 90%, but to CRM, I would give 95%.
Wow, wonderful. Great. 90, 95. CRM is doing good so far. Next, who wants to vote?
So I would look at CRM as a technology and as a practice. So combine
technology and
a practice. How do you really practice the relationship management? It's not about technology. So if it were only technology, I would not rate it very high. But if it is technology blended with the right practice, then I would rate it very highly, much above, maybe in the 90s.
90s, sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
90s, 3 votes for 90s. Kamlesh?
So any technology is a force multiplier. And CRM is also a technology which will enable us to do the right things. But ultimately, like Mahesh mentioned somewhere, it's about the practice which comes from the culture of the organization. So CRM in isolation alone, in my mind, cannot be a vaccine. It would have to be a combination of, it's a significant part of it. It's a big enabler to really reach that objective. But in my mind, I would rate it as an 80, but there's a significant part, 20, which I would give to the culture and how you execute that particular practice.
So let's look at the combined package.
Combined package, yeah, it would give you a 90 plus.
90 plus. Okay, one more for 90 plus.
See, I think we should not shy away from giving it 100. I think we have been very touchy, because I think without this, there's no business model exist. As it's the center around which, whatever we say, process, product, culture, values, everything revolves around that one person called. So today, CRM, the way organizations have proceeded and shown the keenness to develop these platforms shows it is actually above 100 as a priority. Otherwise, this delivery would not have happened. So I think we should, I would rate it as absolute 100.
100 or 100. Okay. Fantastic. Omar, what would you rate CRM as a vaccine?
The way I've seen the entire globe, the changes and all this happening, and the way CRM has really helped come out of these big organizations, even the State Department, New York State Department, right? In the end, they had to depend on a CRM to serve their entire needs of their entire citizens. So I would definitely support it must be above 95.
All 90. So let's give a total combined number so we can tell the industry, this is the combined. What is that number? 90, 95, 96? What should we say?
Average should be about 95.
Average 95. Yeah.
95. Okay. So let's agree to give it 95 and make that as a public figure.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you very much for a very participative, very insightful discussion.